What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 138 of the Chumpcast. Mark is crushing carbs at Coachella, but our guy Rev Rogue is sitting in for our ridiculous Game of Thrones predictions and our review of Hellboy. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call, text, or leave us a voicemail at 847-920-6107. Thanks to our friends at Family Video for sponsoring the show. If you collect DVDs or Blu-rays, you can get some awesome deals through the chumpcast.com/familyvideo. They have ridiculous deals on new releases, and they're always updating their selection. I'm looking right now at copies of Creed 2, Fantastic Beasts 2, Bohemian Rhapsody, A Star is Born, and way more, all for under $10. Plus, it helps us out. You can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. Check out patreon.com/thechumpcast for all sorts of bonus content and more goodies. Now, if you'll excuse me, winter is here.
I think me and Rev actually have the same chair. Is that a Titan, Rev?
Sure is, brother.
Well, Starkey's getting a new chair, and Mark is going to be so jealous of this freaking chair. He's out in Coachella, but who cares? He could have saved all that money and bought a Secret Lab Batman-specific gaming chair. Best on the market, Secret Lab. It looks actually amazing. We should probably post that on our Instagram just to make Mark jealous.
What is it, just a logo, or...?
Yeah, it's got the whole Batman logo on the back. It's all dark. It's the Dark Knight Special Edition.
Whoa.
Yeah,
just came out from
Kelly
what I've
would
noticed.
never let that fly in their apartment.
What are you talking about? It would make it look nicer than whatever this chair he has there now.
Knowing Mark and Kelly, though, he would spend an ungodly amount of money on it, and then it would end up in my basement.
That's a good point.
That's a good deal for you, though, brother.
Look, I'm not mad about it. I don't know. Him being in Coachella definitely probably financially restricts him, but also that sounds miserable.
I don't know. I would love to go to Coachella, in all honesty. Just Southern SoCal.
So
I'm
many
big out.
sweaty
on Coachella.
people, and it's loud, and ugh.
Just reminds me of like Lollapalooza, but with warmer weather, more drugs, and less clothes. And that already gives me anxiety thinking about it.
Yeah, it's something about that. That many people, and it, I don't know, just that sheer amount of drugs.
Who's headlining for Coachella? Anyone know this?
I think Travis Scott's there.
There's everyone you've ever listened to is probably playing a set at Coachella.
Yeah, pretty much. But also, Travis Scott's going to go out there and play his one song, and then you're just standing there doing drugs, I guess. How much of this hate for Coachella coming from me do you think is just going full old man syndrome?
A lot of it. Most of it, if not 100%.
Your reasoning is because there's going to be a crowd. It's 100% old man.
And because it's loud there.
And the drugs. Yeah,
all these damn kids put some clothes on.
You've hit the trifecta. That guy's going to be just a dumb idiot. You're just looking at people like they're not worthy.
This past week especially, I've fully leaned into the old man thing. Like, I've got the Masters on my TV right now. I fertilized my lawn.
Whoa. Oh my God.
I cleaned out my garage. If I had to estimate, I'm going to die in about 5 years.
No, that checks out, dude.
You're going to die, but you're definitely going to be like in retirement in 5 years.
God, I wish.
Are you starting to lose your hair, dude? Like, this 1080p camera is not giving you a good angle.
No, this is just Mark's camera, and that's what it's used to.
Okay. It has a Mark filter. You're just losing your hair naturally.
I'm not the only old person in this house, though, because Drunk Erica the other day, we're talking about, like, we're super hyped for Game of Thrones to start this weekend. And she's like, do you think we should just record it and wait until Monday to watch it since it's on so late?
Excuse me?
My gosh.
I know.
No way.
I literally laughed in her face.
The best part about watching Game of Thrones as it happens is looking at Twitter afterwards and everyone freaking out because there's always going to be just an absolute bombshell.
Oh, it'll be a complete shitstorm, and I'm 100% here for that. But also, if I wait more than, say, an hour to go watch it, someone will have already spoiled it for me.
It's ruined. You have to turn off your phone immediately. Starkey was telling me that since we don't have HBO here, and we have HBO Go, that we're going to have to wait the full hour or at least 15 minutes before we can start the actual episode. And I'm like, nope.
No, I don't think that's true, actually.
That's what I said. So I guess
I get it through Hulu, and as soon as it starts, I can watch it.
You do it through what?
Hulu.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually have all that Hulu information. I have Hulu lit Hulu, so I'm in.
All right, so I guess this is a good segue into our Game of Thrones quote-unquote death pools. There are a lot of offices that are just wagering and making dumb bets on this. And my favorite argument is there's no way that they would let this character die because that would make too many people upset. It's like these people have never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
That's not Game of Thrones MO. That character? Oh, they're dead.
Yeah, exactly. So this has to be super upsetting, right?
For the people that don't understand the Game of Thrones way, it's going to be upsetting. But
I don't know about that. I feel like it's going to be upsetting for all of us because we've gotten to the point where I just finished season 7 last night. Like not my first watch through, but rewatching it with my girlfriend, and I feel like she's pretty stinking attached to like 4 or 5 characters. Like she's into Game of Thrones now. She's a member of the community, and she's going to probably be real upset when somebody dies immediately.
So this is her first time watching it through with her, right?
You got it.
There's actually almost nothing better than watching somebody watch Game of Thrones for the first time because I know all the reactions.
I have a 5-minute reaction video that I took of her watching the Red Wedding.
Oh, brilliant. Dude. Those are rare candid moments that you got to just like the mouth is covered. You just lose your mind at that moment. That was crazy.
Yep. You got it.
It's a great call to record that.
Are you guys worried at all about watching this with someone else?
No, we have a no talking exclusively policy. Like you're just like shut the hell up the entire time. We've already hashed out the details beforehand.
It's well done. We're doing a watch party as well, making a bunch of silly foods, and I'm probably going to wear a bear skin around my neck. And
okay, Blake from Workaholics looking ass.
Yeah, I got a wolf pelt in the closet that I'm going to wrap around my shoulders, and we're going to go watch it with a couple friends. This is my first time doing that. I've only ever watched it with a roommate once, and so I don't know how I'm going to feel.
I'm a little concerned that drunk Erica is going to stop in the middle of this and be like, "Who's that?"
Oh no!
I mean, she knows these characters. Right? She knows it well enough that I think she'll keep up, but she gets really, really excited and she'll grab me, and she doesn't realize that she's squeezing my arm really hard. I'm just worried, like if there's a really big football game on, or if I have a lot of money on something, I tend to want to watch it alone. So I'm a little bit concerned as to how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, Erica has only grown up on Disney movies, so Game of Thrones is like way out of her league in terms of,
she's seen it though, right?
Levels.
Yeah, she's caught up.
Yeah, I'm a feeling down in my plums.
Let's go.
I'm stoked, man.
That's very Game of Thrones-esque of you.
Let's make some guesses on our very first Game of Thrones question. I want you to name one character who definitely turns into a White Walker. And Colin, I'm gonna let you go first. This is Colin, aka Rev Rogue 10. You can find him on Twitch and social media. So go ahead and say hello and give me your guess.
So one character that turns into a White Walker off the rip, I'm going Brienne of Tarth.
Ooh.
Loyal.
I like that take. Any
and
reason behind it?
I can explain my reasoning for it if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
I would like that, but I would like to preface this with a question. Have you looked up any theories?
No. I'm not a big theory guy.
Either am I, because apparently, rumor has it, they had like an outline, but they're really just ripping people's theories from the last couple of seasons, which kind of makes sense. But I trust your ability. Go ahead.
So Brienne of Tarth for me, I think, is going to become a White Walker because the character development of her and Tormund Giantsbane. And I think that they are going to be in a battle side by side at some point. She goes down. She comes back. They fight each other. Lovers quarrel with Valyrian steel swords.
Heartbreaking.
But I can see it happening.
See, that's funny you say that because the first person that I was going to say was actually Giantsbane.
Wow.
Simply because he's already beyond the wall, and he's one of those characters that I think is big enough where people like him a lot, but also at the same time, very disposable.
Are they actually considered to be lovers, though? Have they done the loving yet?
Not yet, but I like I said, character development's trending in that direction.
All right, fair.
You can't teach art, and Giantsbane is just all over it.
So, my best guess here is actually one of Brick's favorites, Bronn. Ooh. And I think this kind of goes along with the theme that he'll fight for anybody as a sellsword, and this is kind of his downfalling in some kind of ironic twist of fate.
Sure.
Damn, that is another good guess.
That's deep.
But is Bronn? Is this the first to turn into a White Walker, or is the how are we?
No,
if
just,
they
it's
do
just
or not.
somebody that does. It doesn't matter when. I mean, I couldn't even begin to guess who would be first.
Yes, no, I do like. Well, I would say Giantsbane or Brienne of Tarth if they're both kind of beyond the wall already. I would say that's probably
fair. All right, second question: who kills the Night King?
Can we just pause real quick and give it up to Sam, that fat fucking idiot that somehow, like, I think he's got to pay respects to, like, he's at the wall, but Loki, he's got a girl. He's super fat when everyone's literally starving to death. And no one has, he's hoarding bread, right? He's got to be hoarding bread and cheese. Oh, man. And he has killed the White Walker and he's figured it all out. Like, this guy's somehow smarter than everybody else. I gotta just give it up to Sam. I don't think he's gonna kill the Night King, even though he did give the reason to how to kill the Night King. So kind of have to give him credit there a little bit.
Exactly.
If I'm going to make a guess, I'm just going to go Tyrion, just because my man's stepped up every single time he's been asked. He's always just like been there at the right time, always made the right moves. Tyrion's also just the most lovable character. He might go out killing the Night King, but I'm just going to go ahead and go out on a limb. My boy Tyrion, he's the best.
I say 0 chance of that.
I couldn't agree more, Smithers. That's all right. We can all have our theories. I had myself pegging Jaime Lannister doing it.
Interesting.
With the relationship between him and Cersei falling off at the end of season 7, him kind of riding off into the sunset-ish. I anticipate that.
Who does he? Sorry to cut you off. Who does he kill the Night King for? Cersei or Daenerys?
It doesn't matter. He's just he's going to be fighting with Daenerys against the White Walkers, right? Like that's already kind of been foreshadowed with him leaving King's Landing.
Sure.
So my thought is he will pick up the sword after Brienne of Tarth dies on the battlefield. He will pick up Oathkeeper and stab the Night King in the face with it.
Are you sure you haven't looked up theories? These are pretty good.
This is just in my own brain. Promise.
Dope. Smithers, let's hear it.
See, you want to not give Colin credit, but some people actually just have thoughts about this.
He is coming off of watching the entire series. Like, you started this a while ago, a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah, we started really like January.
Yes. So you're on the perfect grind of like letting all the episodes settle in and then, explaining it to somebody, teaching it to somebody always.
It's seeping out of my pores right now is really what I'm saying.
That's true. I can smell it. So you guys like the not necessarily obvious choices, but I would say bigger characters. I'm a bigger fan as a gambler of the long shots. My money is on Gendry and his big ass hammer, just because they literally have to give this guy something to do, right?
Do they?
I mean, why would they have him in there, and why would he be meeting up with Jon Snow and all these other people? He's a Baratheon. I don't know. I guess that's where the end of my reasoning goes.
Yeah, you know what? If you're placing small bets for big win outs, by all means, go ahead and bet your Gendry. But I don't know, man. That's not a Valyrian steel hammer.
If I would do a long shot, it'd be like Podrick Payne or something. Just because he's just
no. You just want to say hot pie.
Hot pie. He serves the pie. And he's like, this is what you guys eat? You guys don't eat people? Wow, I could just eat a bunch of pies. And then he just is fine.
The clouds, dude. Nuts. Okay.
The $1 million question. Who's sitting atop the Iron Throne at the end of this season?
Jon Snow.
See, that's too chalky for me.
I'm calling it how I see it, right? Like, he's the true heir to the Iron Throne. It was told, it was seen, it's been laid out there for everybody to see. Bran is going to tell him he's not going to want to accept it. Word is going to get to Daenerys, and she's going to be all this weird-ass heartbroken thing. And Jon wins. That's my call. Sorry.
Do you think that there's a chance that they would just continue banging each other after they found out?
Yes, I do. I think there's a high percentage chance of that.
Okay, fair enough. Brick, what do you think?
I'm going with nobody. For what it's worth, I'm going to say Daenerys eventually does win, and she basically has her dragon destroy the Iron Throne and giving everybody freedom.
And what kind of backwards Star Wars prequel bullshit is this? You want to like install a democracy among the Galactic Republic? Go fuck yourself.
Hey, everyone's wondering who's sitting on the throne. Is going to be fucking nobody. That's just George R.R. pacing.
Can you see him just like having the Iron Throne just absolutely blown up somehow, like the swords go flying everywhere and shit?
If that were to happen, it would have been when Cersei probably exploded the entire
that great sept of
King's
Baelor.
Landing.
The great septon.
See, you guys are going a little chalky here. Brick, first of all, your scenario would suck. I would hate that, absolutely. But my guess, and I'm not changing, I've been talking about this for probably 2 years, Sir Davos, the motherfucking Onion Knight, is sitting atop the Iron Throne at the end of all of this madness.
Did you put like $2 to win 10,000 or something? Like, what's the deal here, kid?
The odds were about plus 10,000 on this. I haven't really bet anything yet, though I might put in a few just before the season starts. I don't know, man. He's probably one of my favorite characters for some reason. He's just so cool.
He's extremely honorable.
He
doesn't have any fingers because he was what do they call those?
He was a scavenger,
smuggler. There you go.
Yeah.
Dude, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that life. He doesn't want to be a king. He doesn't want to be a lord. He just wants to like live his life.
You don't have to want it. If you're the only one left that can actually do that, it's your duty.
Jesus Christ.
Duty and honor is something that he does, have in spades. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right.
So if you were a writer or a small background actor in this series, you would definitely tell somebody what happens, right?
You'd have to, but also you're a small writer for Game of Thrones, so you're not going to try and lose your job because that's a dope job to have.
Okay, but say you're like the showrunner for a couple of the episodes of the final season. You're already a big deal. You probably tell your wife or something, right?
I don't feel like they've told anybody.
I feel like it's the secret that everyone wants to have.
This is why I have trouble believing a lot of conspiracy theories, because the only way two people can keep a secret is if one of them is dead. So there are too many people that know this. Somebody out there knows. Somebody called Vegas, and that's how they're making their odds so they don't lose their asses on this.
So Vegas actually makes odds for this?
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, but don't the actors know what the hell is going on?
I would assume that they're... Well, first of all, if you're going to Vegas to make a big bet on a prop like this, they'll only take up to a certain amount, obviously, to hedge. Okay. So, and also, I would say that if they're not going to... Jon Snow's not going to call him up and be like, I want to put $100,000 on this.
Good point. He's already making a bunch of money anyway.
Yeah, probably.
But if you're Gendry, somebody who no one cares about and definiteven won't have a big role at all in this upcoming season.
But also, you're going to smash the Night King with your fucking hammer.
Won't even do anything. Is it made out of Valyrian steel? He can't even kill him.
He'll make a new one, Brick.
Stupid.
Are any dragons going to be alive at the end of this?
I don't think so. I think you kind of have to kill off all of the dragons so that the power kind of balances out.
So if Daenerys isn't on the Iron Throne at the end of this, then that means that the dragons are probably dead, right? Like they're not going to listen to anybody else.
I think she's already got the Unsullied. She has everyone behind her. The dragons are obviously the big catalysts that are dope, but
the Ice Dragon and the other non-Dracarys dragon are going to kill each other. That's my guess. Yeah, Viserion, and I forgot the name of the
Drogon.
Either way, I think Ice Dragon and other living smaller dragon kill each other, and Dracarys is still alive at the end of it all.
Hot take.
It would make sense if that happened.
SZA, The Weeknd, and Travis Scott are apparently recording a song for the last season of Game of Thrones. Are they just going to do like a remix of the Reigns of Castamere?
Oh, so that wasn't official. It wasn't just I would love to hear, dude, Reigns of Castamere is like an eerie, creepy song that I actually really like it. That would be sick. Or would you rather have that or like the theme song? Theme song might be a little overkill.
Yeah. I like dragon music a lot. That'd be dope if they did that.
I don't even know how this would happen. This show tries too hard sometimes. Like when they did the whole fucking, what's his face, the ginger guy, Ed Sheeran.
The cameo?
Yeah, not a fan.
Well, if you are Ed Sheeran and you love Game of Thrones and they ask you to be an extra in it, absolutely I'm jumping in there.
Hang on. Let me stop you right there. I'm not saying that I blame Ed Sheeran for that. I'm saying that I blame Game of Thrones for that.
Well, here's the question. Did Ed Sheeran ask them or did they ask? I'm sure they didn't ask Ed Sheeran randomly.
Even if they just acquiesced and said, "Yeah, sure, we'll have you on," I'm not big on that.
Yeah, I didn't like that cameo very much. I was hoping Arya was going to kill him.
That would have been sweet, and I would have taken it all then for sure. Arya Stark's going to murder you, slit your throat, and you're going to die bleeding out. You'll never be able to sing again.
See, that would have been the better way to handle this.
You can join the show, but we're going to kill you. Deal.
You're going to be dead in 5 minutes of screen time. Peace.
That's the perfect way to go out, though.
It is. It really is.
All right, so I guess that's Game of Thrones talk, at least for this week. We'll probably throw something up on the Insta page, just to get your guesses on these. Obviously, it'll be a little less fair. Somebody's going to be dead in the first episode. Somebody that we just named, as we're saying, is going to kill the Night King or something, and it's not going to be a possibility anymore. But if you do want more follow-up, if you subscribe to our Patreon page, we'll be doing quick reviews after each episode, just kind of see where we stand with it, whether we liked it or not. Probably we liked it, especially Brick, because you're
definitely liked it.
You this could be absolutely terrible, and you would still defend it to the end.
Absolutely hardcore, no question about it. Which
is very interesting. But we'll be throwing those up on our Patreon page, so if you subscribe there, you can get some more content. We also released a bonus episode this week where we had a roundtable of content creators from C2E2. Our guy at Chuckload of Comics was nice enough to send us the audio for that. And also we talked to Tom Bilyeu, who founded Quest Nutrition and also Impact Theory Comics. He was a really cool guy. Probably one of the more interesting people that I've met, like, ever.
Very down to earth, yeah.
Super cool guy. So you can follow him on basically any social media platforms. Guy has like 3 million followers on everything. It's crazy. But with that,
news to us.
Boop. I guess the board just went down last week. I don't know. Weird.
Okay, good.
All right, we got a few trailers this week. Did you guys see this actually debuted during WrestleMania last week?
Saw that.
Amazing. It's called Stuber, kind of like Uber, starring Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista. It's kind of like an Uber driver buddy cop comedy, like fish out of water type thing. I don't know. What's your take on this?
I like the character dynamic between Kumail and Dave Bautista. I'm interested to see where that goes because both of them have proven that they can be funny, and I'm more interested in seeing it in like the comedy realm because they haven't had many comedies like released as of lately. So this piqued my interest for sure.
How about that Triple H Dave Bautista match last weekend that went on for 3 hours?
It's ridiculous. That's just two old people.
Colin, did you get a chance to watch this trailer?
I did, and I think for me, I just have such a hard time, and we'll get to this when we get into a review of the week, but like seeing people beyond their characters that I associate them with, I have a super hard time doing that. So when I see Batista, all I think about is Guardians of the Galaxy and him being that dumb rock guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I just can't see him not as that character. So I'm gonna I'm gonna have some reservations before I go out and see this. This might be like a good airplane movie for me in a year.
Can we do like an association game real quick? Like if I throw out an actor and actress, tell me the only thing you can see them as.
Yeah, if you've got some names, hit me.
Brad Pitt.
Ocean's 11.
Oh, really?
I would go Fight Club.
I'm gonna go with Achilles.
That's fair. Sure.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Doctor Strange.
Sherlock.
Okay. Let me think of a weird one. Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi in Mr. Deeds.
The googly eye. That's mine.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my God, hilarious.
I can't remember his name.
Mine would be, what is that freaking show from HBO?
Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah. A more accurate one would probably be like Fargo or something.
Maybe Reservoir Dogs.
Fair.
That was the first one that came to mind. Mr. Pink.
All right, last one. Chris Tucker.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. Pace,
no,
obviously.
No. Fifth Element.
No.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, you're wrong.
Absolutely Rush Hour.
All right, last one.
Yeah.
No, I got one more. The Rock.
Okay. I don't have Yeah. I don't have one for The Rock. I just see him in too many things now. Like I wasn't a big WWE or F guy growing up, so I never had a super strong association with him there. Started seeing him in movies like in Walking Tall, and then now it's just like he's a global phenomenon.
Well, the correct answer here was actually the Tooth Fairy, so you're both wrong.
Nice. Dude, Walking Tall was such a badass movie. I
love that
Walking
movie.
Tall.
Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
People forget.
All right. Did either of you watch the trailer for this animated Addams Family that looks really bad?
I did not.
I didn't see this one.
Okay. Let me preface with this. Have either of you seen the original 2 Addams Family movies from the early 90s with Raul Julia and...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is a complete diversion from that, and it's got an all-star voice acting cast, and it looks awful. It's not funny. It's not weird to the extent that it should be. I am very disappointed in this because
who's in the cast?
Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, Chloe Grace
Oscar
Moretz.
Isaac's in everything now.
Yeah, he really is. And also, if you're Oscar Isaac and you're that good looking, why are you hiding behind like an ugly, fat character?
Because it's so against the trend. You know? Do something against the grain.
I don't get it. That's what Steve Buscemi should have been.
Just because you're a character doesn't mean you have to embody good looks at all times.
Fully disagree.
Totally disagree.
Yeah, I watched it right now. It looks,
Well, I guess it's animated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
I thought it was like drawn.
No, it's like DreamWorks animation.
Okay.
All right, last big trailer of the week, and this is really the big news. The Star Wars Celebration is going on right now in Chicago.
Wow.
I watched this trailer, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and I almost fell asleep in 2 minutes. Are we just beaten over the head so much with Star Wars that it doesn't matter anymore, or am I being an asshole?
I think you're probably being a little bit of an asshole.
Fair.
I am concussed with Star Wars stuff. I'm been over it. I'm not even sure if I remembered The Last Jedi. I don't know if I saw it. I don't know if it's just so unmemorable.
Yep. Luke Skywalker brushes the dust off his shoulder. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then. You remember it. Colin, defend this trailer then.
I don't know. Star Wars has just become such a ingrained part of my pop culture livelihood just from growing up. My brother's a massive stan of the entire franchise. I mean, he's read all the side books. He knows more about Star Wars than anybody I've ever met. And I think for me, I'm just excited to see how they're able to finish this off, right? This is a story that we haven't really been told yet. So I am just looking forward to the conclusion of it. I think that they're, based on the first 3, the second 3, and then the third 3. I think everybody kind of hated the second 3, and it's nice to see newer age directing, cinematography, CGI, storytelling, and they've actually put it into a good couple of last films. And I like the side movies that have come along the way, but I'm excited for this one, man. I want to see the conclusion. I want to see where they go with it.
One thing they will do absolutely right is the CGI will be on point. It's going to look beautiful. It'll be magnificent and over the top, like all Star Wars movies. So that's something that they always look for. It will be a theater experience that you should see.
No doubt. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, I'll be there opening day just like everybody else pretty much on the planet. I guess it's oversaturated at this point. A movie a year is too much.
Yeah, but we complain when there's not a movie a year for other franchises. At least I did.
For other franchises is the key term there.
I don't know.
Right.
The whole internet backlash on both sides, really, where it's people are mad because there's a black guy and a woman. And can you imagine being so bored with your normal life that's you have to spend time arguing with people on the internet about that?
I mean, that's what the internet does, though, right? It gives a platform to sewer rats who climb out of the gutters and don't have anything better to do with their lives.
You talking shit about Pizza Rat?
No, Pizza Rat's a great guy.
Pizza Rat is the only rat that's a good rat. Every other rat is just
a rat.
Just a rat.
So, Brick, I don't assume you noticed this, but at the end of the trailer, you hear a laugh in the background. It's definitely coming from Emperor Palpatine.
I did catch that. I played the video games. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. So this has got to be some kind of dark side Force ghost, right?
I feel crazier shit's happened in the Star Wars universe than him coming back. So I'm not counting that out.
So Force zombie, maybe?
Force zombie.
He's going to come back and electrocute some people?
It's going to be a Force White Walker, and then they're going to combine the Star Wars universe and the Game of Thrones universe.
I'm sure it won't be long before Disney owns HBO.
Jesus.
So
that's the only way I'll get into Star Wars is if they combine with Game of Thrones. Otherwise, it's bleh. Has there ever been a Star Wars Star Trek crossover?
No. Probably in comic books, but that'd be about it.
Okay.
They also announced this week at the Star Wars Celebration that they're going to go on a little hiatus after this. I think they kind of realize that they've saturated the market. They'll probably take like 2 years off and then realize they can make another $1 billion. But
easily.
So the end of the trilogy is going to be a little bit of a break. I'm fine with that.
Same. How long was the break between the original 3 and then like the new ones? Episode 1?
25 years.
Okay. Yeah, it won't be that long. That's a fact.
No chance. But they say break, and it's not really a break because Disney Plus also made a bunch of announcements this week. They stole all the headlines. They're launching this service on November 12th. It's going to be available for $7 a month or $70 annually. But on day one, they're going to release the first episode of The Mandalorian, which is Star Wars. So they're not taking a break. This is more Star Wars content.
Mm-hmm. The Mandalorian is going to be lit, dude. That's going to be so cool. It's not going to feel as much like the Star Wars universe, like light side versus dark side. I feel like it's going to be a lot. I mean, it's almost going to feel like a cop drama thriller. I have a feeling. Yeah,
I mean, he's a bounty hunter, right? It's got to be. And it's directed by Jon Favreau. Obviously, I'm a big fan of his work. So pretty excited for this.
How dark can they go with this? It's a Disney. How dark can they go?
PG-13 at the darkest, I would say. Star Wars has never really been that type of universe. The darkest stuff that's ever happened in Star Wars has been in the comic books, and nobody's really that familiar with it.
This is an opportunity to go a different direction, but at the same time, why change if it's been so successful? That's the problem.
Right.
Rick, I'm kind of surprised that you don't like Star Wars more, especially with how much you like Game of Thrones and the parallels that can be drawn. I mean, it's just a little bit lighter incest and space dragons and laser swords instead of actual swords.
Yeah, you're just sitting on I don't know what it was. Just it didn't lure me in. The characters didn't lure me in.
I guess you could never sit on a lightsaber throne, though. Like, that would probably burn.
Yeah, it'd be too hot. I'm not a big fan of the heat.
Okay. Some more news coming out of Disney Plus. Apparently, once movies finish their theatrical runs, usually there's an off period there between the theatrical run and when it releases on digital or Blu-ray. Disney's not going to do that. They're just going to put it out on their service right after it finishes in theaters.
That's sweet.
This is basically going to kill the Blu-ray industry, I think. People will still always want to own physical media, but that's just not... It's going away, unfortunately.
Won't last very much longer.
Are they going to continue to want to own physical media, though? Question mark.
I've already stopped that. I don't do any games. I buy mine all digitally.
See, the game thing is curious to me because you can't resell a digital game.
You know what? I did start purchasing all my games for the Switch, physical copies, just in case I want to get rid of it. But all my Xbox games, just going to have them forever. It is what it is.
All right, fair. Also announced by Disney Plus this week, a Kate Bishop Hawkeye series with Jeremy Renner. So they kind of alluded to it in the actual trailer for Avengers Endgame. He's kind of training somebody that I think is probably going to be Kate Bishop. Basically just a different Hawkeye. It's a girl Hawkeye. We're also getting a Monsters, Inc. series. And they are actually going to get the voices of John Goodman and Billy Crystal.
That's huge.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this is going to be Sebastian Stan, and I'm blanking on Falcon's name. It's Anthony Mackie. Sorry. They're really shelling out the cash for this. We're going to get WandaVision series. So all these main actors from the actual movies, they've got to be paying out the ass for this.
They have to be. I'm interested to see more of the Winter Soldier. I could kind of do less without the Falcon. His character is kind of whatever. Do you think they're going to add any Captain America cameos?
That's a good question. I think personally that Cap is probably going to go away after Endgame. Either he dies or he just rides off into the sunset. We'll do our previews for that closer to the week of, but his contract's up, so we'll see.
Right.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, has the potential to be kind of a buddy comedy, and I think that's probably where they want to take it. So I'm interested in that. Anthony Mackie is good as comic relief, and when he's not center stage, he's better. So we'll see how that goes.
Isn't he a little more center stage for this then? Or is he sharing the spotlight?
If he's sharing the spotlight, like if he's a co-star, I think he'd be fine. I don't know.
Where has he really led the charge in a movie?
Nowhere at all.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess the biggest part that he ever had was in Winter Soldier, actually.
True.
So, and the last thing they announced this week is a What If animated series. So most people probably aren't really familiar with this. Marvel has done What If comic books for 40, 50 years now. And it's basically just what the name says. It's like, what if this had happened instead of that? So they've announced that the first episode of this is going to be what if Peggy Carter had been Captain America instead of Steve Rogers, and Steve Rogers still stayed to be like a little wiener guy, and Peggy Carter's just like a super soldier. I think that these are usually pretty interesting. There have been some obviously really bad ones in the past, but there are also kind of funny ones or better ones. Like, what if Wolverine had killed the Hulk? What if Venom had attached to the Punisher instead of Spider-Man? What if Professor X had been the Juggernaut instead of the Juggernaut? So I'm pretty excited for this. I think animation is probably the better and obviously more cost-effective way to go with a lot of this stuff. And I mean, when we get into Hellboy later, we can argue the ins and outs of that. But that's Disney Plus, and Disney's stock went through the fucking roof this week. And meanwhile, Netflix is dropping like a brick, if you don't mind the reference.
I do.
I'm sure. You guys going to sign up for this?
If it's only $7 a month, I'm kind of mad at myself, but probably.
On the fence. Going to check the service out. Probably try the free month trial. See how much I watch it.
Rumors are right now that if you have a Hulu subscription or if you want to bundle those together, they'll offer a discount. But aren't we? I mean, we're getting really close to just going back to full-on cable subscriptions as far as cost and the different platforms. I don't know.
Yes.
I feel like if I'm going to sign up for something new, I need to get rid of something that I don't use as much.
Like what, though? There's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Amazon Prime, but Amazon Prime gives you like actual shipping and stuff.
I already cut out Amazon Prime.
I can't believe you cut out Amazon Prime. Shocking.
You're just mad because I can't get you on Twitch.
I am a little upset.
You could get them on Twitch for cheaper than Amazon Prime.
I'm still just kind of shocked, honestly. Like I use Amazon Prime probably like 4 times a month. And then they actually have some decent shows that they put on there every once in a while. Like I really did like Man in the High Castle.
I'll just pirate it if there's something I really want to see that badly.
You're going to turn into a real pirate and have people bring you stuff 2 days?
Bitch, I might.
He used to run to the store.
Also,
who goes to the store?
No, anymore? I wait 6 days instead of 2. It's fine.
You're an old man patient. I'm a millennial. Need things now immediately.
I need
a new premium service that teleports things to right next to me.
I can also
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I can also fully cut out DC streaming service. Like, it's cool, but that'll be the first one to go.
Wow. By the way, teleporting would be the ultimate pop-in. That would be a nightmare. I don't even want teleportation to exist anymore. Hey, just popping in, saying hi. Sick. See you later.
Hey, you didn't text me back. See ya.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on with this news. Ben Schwartz, a.k.a. Jean-Ralphio, is out here campaigning to play Plastic Man in the DC Universe. I'm 100% here for this. If you guys don't know Plastic Man,
roles. He is Jean-Ralphio for life. I don't care what other roles he does.
Yeah, Sonic, so if I say Ben Schwartz, like that's your correlation right there. But Plastic Man is kind of like, he has the powers of Mr. Fantastic, so he's like stretchy and shit, but also he's funny and not a huge fucking dork. So Ben Schwartz is at CinemaCon this week plugging Sonic the Hedgehog. He's going to be the voice of Sonic, and he is out here like showing off fan artwork or interpretations of what he would look like as Plastic Man. I would just go out there and say, I think I speak for all of us here when I say we're on board for this. We support Ben Schwartz as Plastic Man.
I support Ben Schwartz in anything he wants to pursue.
He's in the grassroots movement right now. He's out there pounding the pavement. Some old-fashioned marketing. I can appreciate that.
What you got to do, man.
Dude, Mr. Fantastic is a fucking loser. The Fantastic Four is lame. The Thing, okay, you're a rock.
It's not lame. You've just seen really bad movies.
It's lame.
No,
super lame.
It
I'm
isn't.
a doctor. I can stretch pretty far. I'm a girl. I can be invisible. Blah, blah. Lame. All lame. Who's the other guy? Oh, the Flame On? Flame Off, dude. Peace.
Wow, you told him.
I did. It's a little mini rant about how lame the Fantastic Four is.
You're just saying that based on the movies, and you're not wrong about the movies.
Honestly, the best Fantastic Four I've seen is from Arrested Development. That play that they make was
Daddy
the best
needs
Fantastic
to get his
Four.
rocks off.
Daddy's trying to get his rocks off.
All right, let's move on. Giannis Antetokounmpo, future NBA MVP, told LeBron to fuck off because he doesn't want to do Space Jam 2. I didn't think I could possibly like Giannis any more than I already did, but this is great. Discuss.
Giannis is dope. Do we want Space Jam to be bad? Do you want Space Jam to be bad?
I want it to be canceled.
Indoors?
Yes.
You do want it to be bad.
Yes.
What would make it good?
I already told you this. Colin, do you have can you see any possible way this movie is good?
No.
Okay. Here's the only way this movie is going to be any good is if at the end LeBron realizes that he can't beat the Monstars. So instead of trying to beat them, he goes and signs with the Monstars.
I was going to say, or he calls Michael Jordan and then Michael Jordan saves the day.
Yeah, I'd be in on that as well, but I don't think LeBron's going to let that happen, first of all.
Well, yeah.
He might let him join the team to start out, but at the same time, I need a Michael Jordan cameo in there minimum. They also need to end roll credits after the game is over. LeBron needs to be about to play Jordan 1v1, and then it just needs to cut to credits because that's going to be just the ultimate MJ LeBron debate.
I also think that they're going to stud this with a bunch of brand new kid actors that everybody loves. Like Kevin Hart is guaranteed to be in this movie somewhere.
Oh wow. Yeah, he's definitely going to play the Bill Murray role.
There's no way that Kevin Hart's not in this movie. Yeah, they're gonna just stock it full of people of characters and actors that the Fortnite community really wants to go watch, and it's going to do all right. But
isn't this hitting the nostalgia of our generation though? Won't they want to hit some characters for us because it's Looney Tunes?
Doubt it. They're going to target the Fortnite community.
Yeah, I have to agree with Colin here.
Okay.
All right, last bit of news, and we'll just kind of glaze over this, but Shazam is crossing $200 million in the worldwide box office, doing really well, and apparently that was enough for DC to greenlight the sequel, but that's not going to be the Black Adam movie. That's a separate thing. So we're getting two more Shazam movies at least.
Whoa. Well, I liked the concept of it, and I actually put this in a top tier with Wonder Woman for DC, which Wonder Woman was great. Shazam was awesome. Everything else has been pretty. So we'll see where it goes from here.
AKA doo-doo butt.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge, skank, terrible, but thank you.
All right, Brick, I'm going to ask you now for your best man alive.
Shane Mack from WrestleMania took an absolute shellacking, got suplexed 30 feet up in the air, and won the match in WrestleMania by laying on top of The Miz. And the best part about this fight was the origin of it was because he fought The Miz's dad. Just like it was a dad fight, which is hilarious to me.
All-time meme, though, when he's in the ring standing across from Shane McMahon and he puts his fists up. It's fucking brilliant.
The announcers called it perfectly. They're like, this guy looks like a potato. He did look like a potato, but at the same time, you didn't have to say that. It's just this guy. It's just a guy, right? I mean, but just the dad fight, Shane O'Mac, who looks 50, just getting super suplexed 30 feet in the air. Brilliant. It was called the WrestleMania score. Miracle.
Yeah, for WrestleMania as a whole.
It's just insane. WrestleMania is just something.
It's something is what it is.
It's something.
Dude, I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Best WrestleMania ever was when we had that WrestleMania party, Colin, at our house. That was on the mega screen. That was the best thing ever.
I would have liked for WrestleMania to be an hour shorter this year, but it was good.
Yes, they could cut some things out for sure. Let's make
for sure.
Yeah. All right, Colin, do you have a best man alive?
Yeah. So Netflix just premiered Our Planet recently, and I am one of the biggest advocates in the world of nature documentaries, aka put me to sleep and watch some 4K animals and some dope ass footage.
True.
David Attenborough, at 92 years old, narrates Our Planet on Netflix, and came out yesterday in an interview with Vox and said things are going to get worse. So not only has David Attenborough got the most soothing voice maybe that's ever existed, he also is a massive advocate for wildlife and planet health. So David Attenborough, greatest man alive.
Back to that, Jimmy Auska, who works for Netflix, Mark's cousin, put up a Instagram post talking about there's 15 different titles that they had there, and he was like, yeah, pick a couple too. pick your two favorite. And he goes, well, Netflix will figure it out anyway, or we'll know anyway based on the algorithm. And then I literally said, Jaguar and elephants. And then all of a sudden my main title banner was a Jaguar. Then my little icon was the elephant. And I was like, this is a little creepy, but nicely done. Nicely done, Netflix.
That's very creepy. I did hear, though, that has some pretty disturbing imagery in it, like with a walrus that falls off a cliff or some shit.
Haven't gotten that far in it. Only watched an episode. Fell asleep.
Spoilers.
I watched the episode. Do you see the killer whales kill that seal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty. That wasn't great.
I mean,
the whales killed the penguin. That was what it was.
Yeah. They have some absolutely ridiculous footage. It takes them 5 to 8 years to make this. And they were interviewing on the Today Show somebody for National Geographic who goes out and does this. This guy has spent the last 4 years of his life tracking, following, and basically living next to a pack of wild dogs in Africa.
Damn.
That is some fucking dedication, because that guy is going to get maybe 38 to 50 seconds of footage on the next, our planet.
That's nuts.
That is crazy. I would not want to be the guy who has to do the Antarctica area.
Yeah,
who draws the small straw on that one?
Yeah, hard pass. All right, I'm kind of surprised that neither of you brought this one up, but my best man alive is, I think, our first ever anonymous best man alive. Are you guys familiar with Hush Hush?
No, but that kind of goes hand in hand with Anonymous.
So Hush Hush is basically a website or an app where rich people can go to just get stuff that they like. They buy ridiculous experiences, like with rock stars and stuff. So
it's a Firefest app minus the shitty experience.
You could probably buy Firefest on Hush Hush, but this person is looking for someone who can help design the arena for a 100-person battle royale inspired event. They're going to pay somebody £1,500 a day, so probably like $1,700 for 6 weeks, and they're basically setting up a real life battle royale. So I first heard this and I was super excited, because billionaires, in my opinion, suck because they don't spend their money doing cool shit. Like Elon Musk already should have been Batman, but he just doesn't do it for some reason.
Yeah, what a coward.
It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But I thought this was going to be like a real last person standing thing, and they were going to pay out. But apparently it's just, I think, airsoft, which is still cool. It's a cool idea. I would like the stakes to be a little bit higher. But this guy's putting out a shitload of money, guy or girl, I guess I should say. And the event is 3 days, 12 hours of competition each day. Competitors camp for the night on this island. They have like camping gear and equipment and shit. And I guess what they're looking for really is a quote unquote game maker who can help them organize the arena and set up the rules and shit. Should we maybe throw our hats in the ring for this?
Absolutely.
I've got nearly, let's say, 4,000 hours of Battle Royale experience over the course of the last 18 to 24 months. So I would say I am relatively qualified.
I agree. I'll market it. Smithers, you can cut the audio.
I think my only real requirement is that you have to be able to like call out when you walk past a Mozambique shotgun. Just like Mozambique over here.
Yes. That checks out.
Perfect.
God damn it.
Dude, this is just some billionaire just like, I like the Hunger Games way too much. I want it to be a reality. Minus like the killing. That's basically what he did.
Pretty much.
Hey.
I think you go full balls to the wall on this and at least like be able to injure people.
Whoa.
Fight, like an actual like fight to the death. Not to the death, but like once you're unable to participate anymore is when you're actually done.
What if it's like no weapons MMA fighters and you have to actually find each other and beat the shit out of each other?
That would be the best TV of all time.
Whoa. Like,
and
then we're really getting into the Hunger Games IRL.
You can like
think about third partying one of those.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. You camp out, you wait for them to beat the shit out of each other. You're fresh. You haven't been fighting anybody and you just jump down and finish one of them off.
But then they would probably team up on you and then it just turns into this mega brawl.
Yeah, but that's when you got to be the king of third partying.
There you go, man.
Then
maybe we should actually just sign up to compete in this instead of being the game makers.
Yeah, no, that would be hilarious. You just beat the shit out of somebody and then just like take their granola bars. That's what that's the shit they have stored.
That's brilliant. Oh shit. So that's my best man alive, Mr. Anonymous. Let's get into our movie review of the week, which is Hellboy. So this started at 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is
9?
Abysmal. It's moved up to 15% as of right now, but It's got a 69% approval rating from fans, leading me to the common argument that this is a popcorn flick. Thoughts, Colin?
I think Popcorn Flip describes it perfectly. I sat in the VIP section at the Icon Theater, ate a plate of wings and French fries.
Oh, you fucking animal.
And I enjoyed myself thoroughly. It's great kind of mindlessly to be able to just watch some brutal demonic action. And being an ordained minister and I play a reverend on the internet, it was awesome for me.
Rick, do you agree?
I liked the lore of it. This probably would have made a better D&D campaign than a movie, in my opinion. Like, killing 3 giants as a devil assassin with a soul-punching sidekick sounds like a banger of a campaign, honestly, right?
I dig it.
The lore of it, I thought was pretty cool, and that's what lured me in. Pun brutally intended, and I'll just stop what I say now forever.
Okay.
But, like, the Dark Ages prequel was dope, leading into the World War II kind of origin story of what Hellboy actually was. The action was like, okay. I guess I would have liked to see this as a rated R and get really gory with it because they have like the ability to.
What? Wait, what?
It was pretty gory. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I just thought they could have done. I thought they could have done more with it.
Which part wasn't gory enough for you? Where the giant had the tree rammed through his entire stomach, or the tree?
I would just like to see what they would have done if it was rated R.
What are you? It was definitely rated R.
It was PG-13.
No, it definitely was not. They were like murdering people and demons were ripping people in half, and they said fuck a bunch.
Yeah, it's definitely rated R. Big wrong.
Did you see like an edited version of this?
No. Okay. I thought it was rated PG-13.
Did you see? You saw the kid version. Oh my god.
Well, I guess we'll find out as we continue.
No, there was definitely some gore, obviously.
Sure.
But again, I liked the lore. The problem with it was there was one part that the World War II section of it, and they just shoehorned Gregory Rasputin into it, even though he died he died in World War I.
But that's actual, like, from the Hellboy story. That's who summons him in the comic books. Let's hold off on this. Let's talk a little bit more of the details here. So this is directed by a guy named Neil Marshall, who is mostly known for his TV and HBO work, actually. He's done a couple episodes of Westworld, and he's done some Game of Thrones. So he did the Blackwater episode and Watchers of the Wall. So those are pretty action heavy episodes. I don't know, like some of the battle scenes were really well done. I think I don't know how to say this. The larger scale action scenes, I think, were well done, but there weren't enough of them to actually outweigh the fact that you shoehorned a bunch of bullshit in this. The Wrap released a story earlier this week saying that Marshall and the producers of this movie fought through the whole thing. There were stories coming off set of David Harbour and Ian McShane both walking off set, just like, fuck this, I'm done, when Neil Marshall was trying to get them to do more takes of the same scenes, and also that they were both just kind of rewriting their lines on the fly. And apparently Neil Marshall was never given final cut for the movie, so the director did not have final say. So maybe that explains some of the ungoodness in the movie.
I did feel a lot of things were forced and a lot of things were shoehorned in there, as like we kind of put. So I guess that kind of makes sense now.
So I would also like to your point about the World War II origin story thing. That scene lasted 4 minutes. And then he talked about it with his dad once for another 38 seconds. Like, that was the most forced, in my opinion, thing that happened in the entire film.
It was a plot device for sure. And also they shoehorned Lobster Johnson in there for some reason.
Dude, Lobster Johnson, he just goes, Guten Tag. I was like, that's hilarious because it's so cheesy, but like, it's perfect. I don't know. I just thought it was campy, but I'm not sure if it was supposed to be because, I mean, he's like a metal character and they play the music properly, but they don't go like full metal on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they half-assed the metal part of it and made it a little too poppy, and they just like didn't go all the way for Hellboy to be as awesome as it could be.
It was just kind of funny too because it's like Thomas Hayden Church shows up and you're just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, that's a well-known actor and they just shoehorn him in there. And I think that was probably my biggest complaint about this movie, is that they tried to do way, way too much. This would have served way better as like a Netflix TV series, maybe.
Absolutely.
That could have been awesome.
and probably animated so that you don't run into budget issues. They had a $50 million budget for this, which is about half of what it would have taken to make this an impressive movie CGI wise.
Right.
I loved the practical effects. I thought David Harbour looked good in a costume. Baba Yaga looked really fucking weird and creepy, but then you
did a good job though.
Yeah, and then you throw in these full-on CGI characters that just look terrible.
Yeah, agreed. Like the Minotaur or whatever that guy was.
Pigman.
Oh, that was fucking terrible.
Yeah, he did a bad job, I think. Hellboy himself, like David Harbour, did a great job. I think he plays that character being, kind of the dejected, almost like, I feel like he's almost like the stepson of that film. Like, and he represents a lot of like the feeling that you get when you have a character like that in a normal movie. And he does a good job of being the badass and kind of brush it off. He's kind of brute around the edges, but at the same time, like you put like this kind of odd story with the girl in there where he's like got this funny little soft spot, and I don't know. I just felt like a really just like a mix, and there wasn't like a clear, like a straight line that I could follow the whole film.
As far as the plot goes, there are 6 or 7, I guess, and I had to ask, I'm assuming that neither of you have read the comics. Did either of you have any fucking idea what was happening?
I think if they would have stuck with one of like the lore angles that they wanted to go for, it would have been sweet. They could have stayed in the Dark Ages. It would have been a cool shot. They could have stayed in World War II. It would have been a cool shot. But I feel like they went in too many different directions for it got convoluted.
So
they had the makings for a sweet origin story. They have all like the lore that was there, but I just don't think they handled it well.
Yeah, and I think it's just trying to do too much. Like Seed of Destruction is the first comic book run, and they kind of introduce his origin with the Nazis and Rasputin. And then what you mentioned with his like King Arthur origins, that was The Wild Hunt, which is a different comic book run, which they did like 7 or 8 different plot lines here. And Colin, you mentioned Alice showing up just out of nowhere. Like this just kind of, it's not really a Deus Ex Machina because she doesn't save the day necessarily, but it's just this weird MacGuffin kind of thing where she can talk to dead people now and it just answers all these questions. And
she like shows up in a car in the middle of a forest or in the middle of a field outside of the middle of nowhere, like, hello.
And she has weird powers that have not been explained up to this point. That's interesting.
How did you get these powers? Where did you come? For me, like not having a ton of background in this, I do feel like they were trying to tell 6 different stories at once, and it made it difficult for a newer viewer to follow along.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And one of the stories that I would have liked to see them do was when he's talking about like meeting the god Ra. And he was like, yeah, he was a close talker. He met in the underworld when they were doing some. I would have loved to see like an animated version of basically a misfit hero squad of Hellboy, Ra, all these like other gods that have been summoned and taking on all these mega beasts. I think that would have been a better story overall than these convoluted 6 stories through history.
I agree.
That's fair. I feel like we should briefly mention, though, since Mark is gone, like, Colin, can you speak to the jackness and the ridiculous murder in this film?
Yes.
Yeah. So the level of jackness in Mark's absence was, I would say high. I would say high, trending higher, potentially. There was a lot of body ripping and eyeball squishing and piercing of limbs and organs and blood spilled. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not sure how Mark traditionally judges the level of jackness, but I'm going to go to a 1 through 10 scale. I'm giving this a hard 8.5.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, Hellboy was thick. David Harbour really.
He was a thickum for sure. And
absolutely.
Like, how about that scene when all of a sudden Blood Witch comes up, opens that little silly portal, and homie comes out from the ground and just starts ripping people in half. Like, oh, okay. I don't know where all these monsters came from, but they're bigger than everything, and they're literally tearing civilians in half in London.
That was really intense.
Trumer.
I agree with your assessment there, and I felt that the gore was mostly well placed. Some of the stuff was so gross. When Baba Yaga kisses him on the mouth,
I almost puked in my seat.
Yeah, I realized like 2 minutes later that I still had the same shocked look on my face, just like, ugh. So like 2 minutes later, I was like, "Oh, I'm still making this face." That's the impact it left on me. But
the remnants left over from that was disgusting.
Yes, it was.
Because you know what she eats? She eats fucking children. Like, yes. That's what she was just serving.
Yeah. And that's another kind of issue that I had with this is they introduce all these characters and they shoehorn them in here, but they don't give you the background on any of them. Like they mention in passing that she's missing an eye because of Hellboy, but there's a really long story behind that. And, you know, Baba Yaga does live in this weird chicken house. And there's so much cool stuff that they could have done. I'm more upset at what this movie could have been than what it actually was. Like I was able to turn my brain off and enjoy it. David Harbour as Hellboy, he's kind of a whiny child, but they also make it clear that he's been doing this for a long time, like 25 years. Like they show him with Alice as a child in the early 90s, and he's got some weird beard for some reason. But he still acts like a little kid. And I think they kind of missed the mark on that because in the comics, he's rebellious, but he's not infantile. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And also, devil child. He should be a little more hardcore metal, devilish.
I guess. And that's kind of like what the Guillermo del Toro, Ron Perlman ones did. I love those movies unabashedly. I think they're great. And Golden Army was even better than the first one somehow. And they used the practical effects better. But at the base of this, like his motivations don't really make sense. In the comic books, he works with other monsters and demons and stuff. And you're able to see that there are other good monsters and demons and stuff. And in this, it was just him. He was the only good one. So why would he think that, like, his motivations...
just because some blood witch is like, hey, yeah, all monsters are good. We're beaten up by humans. Like, where are the other good ones?
Exactly. And that's where they really missed the mark on that for me.
I think whichever one of you guys said, this could be a Netflix series with like 30 to 40 minute episodes, hit it on the head. Think about the number of plot lines that existed just in this film. Baba Yaga, you've got Alice, you've got the giant hunter, you've got his origin story. The origin story and the Blood Witch. That's already 6 episodes.
Yeah.
You could easily have developed 30 to 40 minute episodes on. And
you
literally just did, and you tried to cram all of that content into one little bundle, and it, in my opinion, was really hard to follow.
What did you guys think about the supporting cast? So we got Ian McShane as Dr. Broom, Mila Jovovich as the Blood Witch, Daniel Day Kim, who I feel like they kind of wasted. He's an awesome actor. He's Ben Daimyo. Did they do anything for you?
He was basically useless in that entire fight, even when he did turn into his full form or whatever. I looked at him. I watched like what he did. He jumped on the back once, then he got tossed immediately.
Yeah, cat tossed around the room.
I felt like they just struggled to give them something to do, and it was just kind of wasted.
I think that his dad plays that exact same character in every film he's in.
Yep. That's definitely Ian McShane going Shakespearean on some bullshit. I mean, he's great in the John Wick movies. And, I mean, he's an excellent actor. Don't get me wrong. He's not just like pigeonholed there. But yeah, that was standard carbon copy Ian McShane.
Again, I just want to go back. This would be make this a freaking D&D campaign. Dude, a jaguar person, a soul puncher, sidekick, and a devil assassin is like it's a sick hunting some giants, hunting the Blood Witch, doing all these things would be way more fun. And there's just so many different angles that they can take from this. The lore is there. They just made it convoluted. That was the problem.
Coupled with the bad CGI, just like really, really early 2000s bad CGI. I don't know. I mentioned it last week in Shazam, and if I didn't mention it here, it wouldn't be really fair, but they used slow motion to death, and the frame rate on the slow motion was real fucking bad. Like it looks like your computer chugging along to play a AAA game, and it's just not, it doesn't have the power. It was bad.
I think the biggest thing for me was trying to keep my brain wrapped around the storyline, and I was a little distracted from the poor CGI work in certain areas.
Agreed.
Well, I guess that's good then. But like I said, the practical effects are pretty good. Other than Hellboy barely using his right hand of doom, the giant right hand that he has.
Did he use it once?
He used it once on like a giant. He used it twice on a cell phone.
Thank you for this little comedic relief that you've inserted.
Yeah. By the way, the comedy really didn't land in this. It should have been funnier. Especially with David Harbour. He has comedic chops.
I didn't like laugh out loud once.
Yeah, I feel like that's not David Harbour's fault though, right? I feel like he got reined in on a lot of that.
Yeah, it was probably just bad writing. So
I feel like Smithers, you originally, from what I said, or from what you were talking about, had a slightly different opinion than what it sounds like you're coming across as based on our last 4 minutes of conversation.
I kind of have to separate my two trains of thought on this. I am a huge fan of the Mike Mignola comics. I love the stories. As a movie, just like if this was just a random different character that wasn't Hellboy, it would have been a lot better. So I can step away from that and say that I did really enjoy this. If you're into this type of movie, like if you love gore and just weird over the top campy shit, then yeah, I would go see this in a theater. I saw it in IMAX. And actually, maybe that just amplified how shitty the CGI was.
Damn.
So maybe, wow. Yeah, see, now I want to say stream it. Colin, do you want to give me your rating for this?
I'm going to say stream it, and I'm going to say stream it on an airplane.
Just like when you can't get out to go literally anywhere else. You're stuck with it. It's
a designation that I've started to come up with based on my 2 flights that I took to and from Austin, Texas in the last week. I watched a couple of movies on the plane, and it's like, oh yeah, that was a good movie, a plane movie. That was a good movie for the plane. This is a good movie for the plane.
That's how I felt about the Green Book. I finally saw that when I was on my way to Houston.
And you didn't like it?
No, it was good, but it was definitely an airplane movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed it just watching it, not on an airplane.
Hellboy or the Green Book?
Airplane movie is Mission Impossible 4, by the way. That movie I was in my seat just like jacked up, ready to go.
Love it.
That's a bad airplane movie, though, because you can't get out of your seat.
Movie too. Yeah, but you're just like, yo, you're looking at this. Tom Cruise is going crazy right now. So he's just like making conversation to the person who next to you who doesn't care at all.
Brick, rate this real quick, and then I want to talk spoilers for like 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm teetering between stream it and skip it, but I'm going to go with stream it. Fuck it.
I think it's worth a watch.
It sure is worth a watch. They have the lore's there. I just wanted more from it.
Like I said, I'm going to go on my really brief spoiler rant here. Did either of you feel like any of these characters were in danger at any point? Because at the end, I didn't even think they were going to kill Ian McShane.
I thought Hellboy was about to get botched in the beginning. When he got stabbed through the heart, like all the way through his body by the Giants people. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? I didn't realize that you could withstand all of those murderous.
No, that was a great ambush. I think that was a nice little twist within the story.
Agreed. But also, he's a demon, and you can't kill the main character in the first act of the movie, so...
I mean, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but this isn't Game of Thrones.
Too much credit?
Way too much
Game of
credit.
Thrones fever.
Way too much credit. So we get a half a second look at Abe Sapien. Did either of you see the original Guillermo del Toro movies?
Yes, he's like his sidekick with the...
I know who it's talking about.
Why the fuck wouldn't they have just used him in this movie? And... it kind of would have fixed the whole thing we had earlier where I was talking about how there were no good monsters other than Hellboy. Like, what are you doing here?
Setting themselves up for another movie to try and make another 48 cents?
Okay, quick vote. Colin, is this going to get a sequel?
No chance. It's not going to make enough money.
Brick?
It shouldn't get a sequel.
I think it absolutely should, but it definitely won't. This is a rich history of stories that need to be told, but probably not in this format.
Be told properly with time.
So let's talk end credit scenes. Lobster Johnson shows up once again. Thomas Hayden Church shows up to tell Hellboy to quit being such a pussy. What was the point of this?
Honestly, I didn't even stay long enough to...
Neither did I.
I was like, oh, this is done. I'm out of here.
Damn it.
Did not stay for the credit scene.
Well, for the listeners who definitely went to go see this and definitely stayed through the credits, there are 2 post-credit scenes at the very end, after the mid-credit scene, which is Lobster Johnson. Then you get Baba Yaga in the house, in her chicken house, talking to somebody, making a deal with someone to go chase Hellboy down and steal his eye that she thinks that he owes her. And basically she teases him with like, if you do this for me, I'll finally give you the one thing you desire, which is to finally die. Which means it's Koschei the Deathless, who's a fairly large character in the comic books. Maybe, I don't know. He's basically Baba Yaga's slave because she has his soul and he can't die until he gets his soul back. So there you go. There's the end of spoilers.
That's messed up, lady.
That's dark.
There's the end of your spoilers. Let's do recommendations for the week, and then Colin, you can get the fuck out of here. Brick, what have you been doing, watching, streaming, whatever?
Honestly, I rewatched all of Veep. I liked the show before. I never watched it all the way through, like, chronologically. I mean, I watched every episode as it came out because it was always after Game of Thrones. But I finally got a chance to kind of binge through the entire season, and that shit's hilarious. There's so many one-liners in that show. It's very well written, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and just the entire cast is great. Finally, officially caught up to where it's at with the newest and final season. So I would recommend watching Veep.
I'm almost caught up. Some of the burns in that show are just so scorched earth brutal.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's just awful.
It's hilarious. It's awful and hilarious.
Colin, what can you recommend?
I'm going to do a little twofold. So number one is definitely Our Planet. I love anything 4K about animals. David Attenborough has the most soothing voice, maybe of all time. And this is a very well done documentary. Compared to Planet Earth, I think it does get a little like more real in terms of like, hey, we're not just going to let you think that the Earth is all like sunshine and rainbows. Like here's a seal getting his head ripped off and a penguin getting murdered viciously, but in 4K. So it looks
You
great.
really are a perfect replacement for Mark. Can you stop eating carbs?
So yeah, I mean, it sounds like he and I both appreciate the finer things in life. So that being said, that's part one. Part two, twitch.tv/Rev Rogue 10 is something that I highly suggest taking a gander at. Brick, you can attest to this. We've just had some crazy streams in the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate you guys having me on here to hang out, and hopefully you'll be seeing a little bit more of me here as we go forward.
Dope.
Quick shout out to the family, dude. Family Disc is going deep and very helpful for all streamers. I mean, I got my streaming done and got affiliate 7 days of just streaming because everyone's just so supportive in the group. So shout out to the fam.
All right, I've got one recommendation, and that is something I passed on to you, Brick, and it's a show called Letterkenny on Hulu. Originally, this started on some low-level streaming service, I think that is only in Canada, but this is a small rural town in Canada, and basically these people there's farmers, hockey players, burnouts, and I think like religious people, and it's just like the way that they interact. It's a straight comedy, and it's the comedy that I appreciate most because it's completely deadpan. There are tons of callbacks. It's just so over-the-top funny. Please, 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 if you haven't watched this show yet, I've been taking it to the face like 4 seasons in a week.
Well,
that's how into the show I am.
What's it called?
It's called Letterkenny, one word.
Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Absolutely.
about
hilarious.
a guy who just fights people. That's what at least the first season's about. He just like fights people in town and just is the toughest guy in town.
Yeah,
it is so dry and deadpan.
Exactly. Yeah, there's
Netflix?
like nobody laughs in this show. They just look each other dead in the eyes, don't smile, and tell jokes. So that's my type of funny. So I think that's going to wrap up episode 138. Colin, thank you again for joining us. Make sure you get him Reverend Rogue 10. Brick, go get a job or something. I don't know.
On that.
Until next time.
Chumps out, motherfucker.